And now, the LSU Football Fix with Preston Guy, presented by TigerBait, starts now.
And welcome in to your LSU Football Fix. I'm Preston Guy, your host for the night. Joined with me as always every Monday night is Zack, Nagy, staff writer at LSU's Country Sports Illustrated.com, does incredible work there. This weekend, LSU got a big win over Florida, 52-35. About what we were thinking. We are going to tease Zack a little bit for, he's Napier's boy, man. We gotta give him a little bit of trash talk tonight. But I went with a singular theme tonight because I feel it's that important. It warrants it. And it's going to be about Jayden Daniels' Heisman candidacy and why I think he deserves it based on his body of work, and why I think it's a bigger deal than many will give it credit tonight. Zack, look, I don't know if you were paying attention today. I was not messing around on Twitter.
No, dude, I was well in the mix watching it. And I made sure to put something out there too so that everybody could see it. But look, you were clapping back at people. You were giving them what they wanted to hear. It was fantastic. And you kind of put something out there the other day, kind of just saying how, look, the media and everybody else needs to get behind Jayden too, so that there's more of a feel amongst, I guess, voters and whoever reads whatever it is. But look, man, you were giving people the smoke tonight. It was fantastic.
Well, let me go ahead and put out that in just a bit, because
it's a monologue going, man. I'm ready.
The monologue, as I've called it, because it's interesting the position LSU finds itself in. I'm gonna get to a couple comments here from people, and then we'll dive straight into it. Of course, cousin Trey here, as scheduled, every Tuesday, every Monday. Cousin Trey's here. What's up, cousin Preston? Looking forward to a great show. Hope Zack is back. He's back.
We're here.
Your mama's birthday this week, right?
Correct. And on that, give a little late happy birthday to Preston. His birthday was on Saturday, so everybody show some love to Preston.
I got something nobody's ever given me for my birthday before.
What'd you get?
I got 606 yards from Jayden Daniels. Nobody's ever
given me
600
early.
yards. Nobody in SEC history actually had ever given me 600 yards in one game. So that was very kind of Jayden to give me that birthday present. Old Jimbo got the axe. He sure did. It's a funny situation. I'm hoping to get some time to get to that. I've got a lot prepared to discuss tonight. So I'm hoping to have a little bit of time to discuss him as Zach Arnett and what it means and stuff like that. Big Honus Kelly. Woof, woof. Let's hear that inner dog tonight, Preston. The dog is a running gag from the very first game of the year where I challenged people. I said LSU did not have that dog in them against Florida State. And they showed some dog against Florida. They almost got into 4 altercations before halftime. It was getting pretty chippy out there. Let's see here. Need any of A&M's commits? Any chance that happens? Yeah. I think there's a good chance with a few guys actually, and maybe a few players on their roster currently actually. Draylon Miller already decommitted from them. That's probably your most likely. You're looking at Terry Bussey. You're looking at, and probably the most likely would be Gabriel Relaford of their current commits, the Evangel defensive tackle. And by the way, frankly, a guy you need. JD5 for Heisman, says Spectrum Wellcare. JD5, no one else is close. Like and subscribe. Absolutely, guys. If you're watching the video, guys, we just hit 24,000 subscribers today. I believe that makes us the largest LSU content YouTube channel out there. So appreciate all y'all for making that happen. Let's continue going. I want 25K before we get to the bowl game. I'm hoping between the Heisman ceremony and all that good stuff, we get there. So hit the like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Happy birthday, Preston. 15 likes, 69 watching. Y'all can do better. And I'm kind of stalling here a little bit to let more of a live crowd.
Let them roll in.
I kind of like to do a little cordial opening when I do this instead of diving straight into the juicy stuff, because I just know there's quite a bit of people who, won't go back and rewatch when they come in live. So That's why I like to delay a little bit. Yep, Kai Bates. That's Bo Swindle decommitting. He decommitted, not committing. He decommitted. That does hurt. That does hurt because you need a lot of DB. So Brian Kelly's going to have to go back to the drawing board and get some more DBs in because you needed all those guys.
That one hurt a lot. Losing him hurt.
He's a solid player too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all right. We'll get right to it, guys. Because Trey Guy is smashing the like button. When Cousin Trey hits the like button, you know it's time to roll. It's a bit of a peculiar scenario LSU finds itself in. LSU is a program that has had a lot of team success over the years. Yes, Joe Burrow and the 2019 season was incredible for the individual accolades, but even more so, the team accolades were through the roof because you not only went undefeated, won the national championship, you're one of the greatest teams of all time because of how many individual accolades you got put together. This is now a season where those team accolades are no longer on the table at the level you expect for LSU. You can win a bowl game. You can win 10 wins. These are things you want to add to your resume as a program, as LSU. But as far as anything being settled on the field, that pales in comparison. The biggest goal and achievement left on the table for LSU is the Heisman Trophy for Jayden Daniels. Period. End of discussion. That's the kind of thing that alters the perception of your program. It's the kind of thing when people tally up whether you're a blue blood or not, one of the biggest notches is how many Heisman trophies. And it's actually an achievement that's rarer than a national title for LSU. It's only happened twice in school history. Joe Burrow and go back to 1959, Billy Cannon. That's it. So this is much bigger than, and I think LSU does win out. In fact, I think with Jimbo Fisher getting fired, I really don't think LSU has much challenge in its next two games. And the biggest thing you're going to be watching for, does Jayden Daniels continue to do? By the way, everything I'm discussing tonight with Jayden Daniels, it is 100% contingent on the expectation that he continues to perform as he has. Right. If he goes out there and throws 4 interceptions and struggles against Georgia State, it's all gone. It's over. I do not think that will happen. And let's see, LSU's 17-7. So in 24 games, Jayden Daniels has thrown 6 interceptions. That ain't happening. What I find particularly interesting about the Heisman Trophy award, being that's now LSU's biggest goal at the table, it's not settled on the field. It's settled in the perception of voters across the nation. Why is that interesting? Why do I find it? Well, I mean, it's just people's opinions. What's interesting about that? It means everybody with a platform whatsoever has an opportunity to influence voters and can will this into existence. Meaning, if you believe Jayden Daniels deserves the Heisman Trophy, you can use your voice to make that happen. It's not like thinking LSU's the best team in the country and you need LSU to, go out there and beat whoever. No, it's literally just perception of voters around the country. It's not done on the field. It's done in the minds of voters. So for the rest of this year, I'm going to be using my platform to lobby for him to win the damn thing for the rest of the year. Not because I'm an LSU alum. Obviously, there's some biases underneath. I don't try to let that come into this show in my reporting. But it's because it's the right thing to do. He deserves it. And that's why I'm going to do it. And I encourage each and every one of you to do it as well. Someone asked me when I put this out there, well, I have no voice. What can I do to help? I'm they called themselves a no ones. I don't necessarily agree with that that terminology for yourself. But say you don't have a voice, a platform, you could still influence people. You can work those comments and provide stats and information to help influence people, particularly Heisman voters. When you see something you like, for example, hint, hint, this show right now that is lobbying for Jayden Daniels to win the Heisman Trophy, you can hit like, comment, share, get the algorithms up there, because the influence of the algorithm that helps reach, it helps gets things out there. So your comments on this video, your likes, your super chat, like Bo Swindle with a super chat right here, no comment but a super chat, that is what helps promote the algorithms to get this message out there. So my point here is, I encourage everyone who has a voice of any kind, if you believe Jayden Daniels has a chance to win the Heisman, or I'm sorry, should win the Heisman, do the same. Go share your opinion. Go let people know. Now, Zach, we're gonna transition here. I'm gonna hit a couple ads in just a second. Before we do that, I just want to let you know, the next segment is going to be all about laying out the facts why he deserves the Heisman. You put something out there today. Number one, right now, if the Heisman's given out today, does he deserve it in your opinion? And number two, why?
I think it's pretty clear cut that what's it? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And if you look at the numbers that Jayden Daniels puts out there, it speaks for itself. The statistics tell the story for him. And if you don't want to go off the statistics and you just want to go off the record, then go ahead and, the last line that I put in my tweet today was, go look at the damn strength of schedule. LSU's at number 4. Washington's at like 43. Oregon's at like 53. And so when you're looking at the top 3 candidates, it's Bo Nix, Penix, and Jayden Daniels. And if you want to look at the numbers, the records, whatever you want to do, then go ahead and throw the strength of schedule in the mix as well. So to answer your question, yeah, man, if the award was given out today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, I got Jayden Daniels as my guy right now, and it's really not close. I think what he's doing is unprecedented. I think the numbers that he's putting up are unprecedented, and everything that he's done to this point has been fantastic. And numbers don't lie. And you go look at what he's done on a week-by-week basis. He's put this team on his back, and he has fantastic weapons in his arsenal, but he's making them better. Malik Neighbors is fantastic, and his yards after catch are impressive, but he's delivering fantastic deep balls to him and Brian Thomas Jr. He's unlocking different elements to this offense. So look, everything that Jayden's done, I've been impressed with on a weekly basis. So Jayden's my pick. It's not going to change. And I've really just been so impressed with the growth that he's made as a player. So look, I'm all in. You and I are both all in on the train. We showed it today. We put it out on social media today. And I think a lot of people are in agreement with us as well.
Definitely about to go big on that. Before we go into that, Riley Artigo has a message for you. Smash the like button. Everybody smash that like button. And of course, Big Cojones Kelly right in the middle of that. Everyone on social media has a platform. That's the glory about today. You see some national bozo out there saying, well, Michael Penix Jr. hadn't lost a game. We're about to give you all the ammunition you need. Just stay tuned just a bit. I do have to we got to pay the bills around this sucker. I can't do this for free. So got to thank our people for making it possible. Of course, Celebrity Theaters is the primary people who make it possible because they're our title sponsor, guys. Locally owned and operated with locations in Baton Rouge and in Ruston. I was about to say Broussard. That one closed down. For years, Celebrity Theaters has been committed to providing total family entertainment to its patrons. Because it's locally owned and operated, you're guaranteed to see a clean facility, better pricing, superior customer service, state-of-the-art technology. The Baton Rouge location has an invigorating arcade featuring over 50 games in it, with making it the largest in town. It's got a bar featuring wine, beer, and frozen drinks. Oversized leather reclining seats, of course, and it's got the Dolby Atmos 3D sound system complete with the largest screen in Baton Rouge. Guys, go check them out. Celebrity Theaters. I hit Zack with a quote coming into this. He's such a non-movie guy. Every day he shows up for the show, I'm telling you, 8 o'clock on the dot, 8:00:00. And I said, man, you're like Gandalf the Grey. And he just kind of looked at me funny, like, yeah. I was like, you never seen Lord of the Rings, have you?
She's not a movie guy, man. Stop.
I'm like, man, come on.
We're gonna
at least Lord of the Rings, man. We gotta get you in that. By the way,
I'm gonna get to celebrity theaters. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna pay your bills. We're gonna get there. I'll go there and I'll do what I gotta do. But no, I gotta broaden my horizons and find hobbies. It's established. It's understood. We'll get there.
A wizard never late. He arrives precisely when he means to, or never late, never early. Arrives precisely.
Right on time, baby.
I'm so flabbergasted that you don't know that I have completely screwed up the quote. Guys, if you're looking behind me, you see the Dylan Cruz piece here. I'm gonna put this big on the screen if I can. Might have to throw Zack Nagy out of the way. There we go. Y'all see the 7-piece here. This is, of course, because Jordan Spector's been nice enough to sponsor our show. All this artwork is available. You can browse it at the link over my shoulder, spectorsportsart.com/the Bayou. It's in the description of this video. You can go check it out. Guys, this is art that's guaranteed to catch the eye of any Tiger fan. And the details are really going to be what holds your attention. You might recall the Smoke and Joe piece from 2020, right? I'll hold that one up real quick. This is one of my favorite pieces of art ever. Just the coolest moment in human history. Guys, he's followed that up with 4 incredible pieces, including the Tiger Stadium piece behind me, the Coach O and Joe Burrow. He's even got a Drew Brees one. And now he's got a Tommy Tanks one that's out. So y'all can go check that out at the link in the description of the video. From the fireworks at Tiger Stadium and Alec Box to the Golden Spikes Award, Spector's always spot on, guys. Artwork available in quality print and canvases in any size to fit any room or any budget. Art is straight from the box to your wall. The best part about this artwork, guys, the athletes themselves are buying it. Dylan Cruz has this piece hanging in his living room. You can see it right here in the top right-hand corner. Boom, there it is. Joe Burrow's parents has that top left-hand corner. That piece is in their living room. They've literally come on this show and showed off that artwork there before. It's really cool. So guys, make sure to visit the link in the description of this video and check out the entire Bayou collection. Make sure to use our exclusive promo code TigerBait10 at checkout for 10% off your set purchase. You will not be disappointed. Let's see if I can make Zack big again. I made you as small as Zach Arnett down there.
Poor guy, man.
You know what the saddest part about the Zach Arnett thing is?
What you got?
Jimbo Fisher's buyout, $76 million.
Which is like 4?
It's less than 4. It's like 3.8. Oh boy. Well, it was a prove it to me deal. And kudos to Mississippi State for not gaslighting their fans into thinking like, well, he needs more time. I mean, he's got to get his players in play. No, dude, the roster was set and built already. The program was in place. This was supposed to be a big year for Mississippi State. All he had to do was coach his team, and he didn't get it done. So good for them. Now, the Jimbo thing, yes, hilarious. Let's all make fun of Texas A&M. Get your laughs out. Ha, I'm right there with you. The bigger picture is it's a little scary because that program is a bit of a sleeping dragon, so to speak, in that it's an underachieving program just because of the financial resources it has.
You let them get the right head coach and let them hit a home run there, that quickly becomes a scary team in the SEC. I'm completely on the same page as you there.
It doesn't have like the recruiting territory of, say, LSU, but it's still in Texas, right? You're still going to have to fight with Texas and Baylor and all these other teams in state, Texas Tech for recruits, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, there's plenty of recruits to share in the state of Texas. Yeah, that's an underachieving program. Don't let them get the right coach. And they're proving to you right now that they have as much money as they need to find that coach. Yeah. They just paid Jimbo $76 million to take a hike, and they didn't wait for it to be like an advantageous time. Well, if we just wait till January 1st, we'll owe him, whatever. Or if we can make it to this date in 2025, that's just, they said, we're done. We've seen enough. This is strictly on the field. We want you to walk away and not be our coach. So that's the scary part about that. But for now, let's all point and laugh. Penix and Bo Nix will split votes out west. Harrison will get north votes, and we need JD to get the rest. This is actually an argument I put up the other day. There was some national pundit, and I can't remember who it was, but someone said it's between the winner of those two games. And I'm like, well, is it? Because regardless, they're both going to be way up there, and they're going to split votes. And right now, those are your two candidates up there with Jayden Daniels. Those are your two front runners. In fact, I think Bo Nix is the Vegas favorite right now.
He is, which is crazy to me.
Caught me off guard, and not like Vegas, like a heavy, like a plus 100.
Yep,
like
110.
Yeah, that's pretty wild to me. Daniels did work his way up to second, but I think that's just a Vegas voting thing. I do think that in the eyes of most media out there, right now, Jayden Daniels is the front runner. That actually is a little different, but he's going to have to fight for his life because he's not going to have a primetime spot moving forward. Let's see here.
Yeah, what do you think about the Texas A&M game kicking off at 11 a.m.?
I'll start with the positives because there's obviously just so much negative about it. It's obviously a bad thing.
Yeah,
you are on ESPN. It's not like
you did say that right after College Game Day and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's right on the heels of College Game Day. So ideally, ESPN will want to promote their content, and they can make it like a JD Love Fest, right? Going leading up to the game, and then as soon as Corso puts on the helmet, the mascot head, boom, go to Tiger Stadium. So that's the positive. That being said, I think you're also going head to head with Michigan and Ohio State. That's the catastrophic news. Not that you're at 11 a.m. It's that you need national eyes to get Jayden Daniels the Heisman, and you're really not going to get them. Just straight up. I mean, it's going to cost you millions of eyes because
I was looking at it in like a different way. I was just like, it's senior night. Like, I'd love to give these seniors like the right send off in a night game in Tiger Stadium as opposed to an 11 a.m. kickoff. But yeah, looking at like millions of people not being able to watch and whatnot, that's also a really good perspective.
Let's see if I got any more comments before we go into our tirade.
The monologue.
No more monologuing. No. We're going to go into little nuggets moving forward here. Got a lot of curse words here, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to defer. Okay. So guys, why am I so convinced Jayden Daniels deserves the Heisman Trophy? All right. Look at your total yards in the country. Okay. This is your running and passing numbers combined. Number one in the country is Jayden Daniels with 4,082 yards. So right under 4,100 yards in 10 games. Second place, Michael Penix Jr. with 3,500 yards. Guys, he's almost got 600 more yards than the second place. And I heard, it's not like he's out there just gaudy stat, putting, he's playing football just normally. Like they pulled him out at halftime in blowouts. So that to me is just 500 yards. That's unbelievable. So he's averaging 408 yards per game. The next best, 350. Then you got Drake May, 342, Dylan Gabriel, 340, Bo Nix all the way down at 325. That's truly, he leads the nation in total yards per play, quarterback rating, passing touchdowns, rushing yards by a quarterback. Man, that's so impressive to me. I
try to tell you, men lie, women lie, numbers do not.
All right, I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm one of the rare people who will say numbers do lie. I've always said that, and I hear you, right?
Context. Stat padding is a thing too.
Stat padding, right? You can use numbers to construct a large variety of arguments, but typically when the numbers are lying, the more context and the more detail you get, the more you start to realize, oh, these numbers are a farce. Such as, did you know Oregon has the number one scoring offense in the country? Yeah, they do. How much of that do you think is credited to 82 points against Portland State in their opener?
See, and I was gonna play like devil's advocate on that too. Like I was gonna say like JD's numbers are significant and they're impressive, but imagine what they'd be if he actually played all 4 quarters in every single game.
Right.
There are games where he only played a half or
Now,
three
it's not like
quarters.
Bo Nix played the entire game, but
Yeah, exactly.
82 point. People say LSU 62 against Army is egregious. The difference is, okay, the 82 versus the 62, that's a full 2 points per game spread out across the season
That's
right
crazy.
now. Just in that margin alone, the difference between 62 and 82, right? And they're only in first place by about like 0.4 points, right?
So the numbers are skewed their way simply based off that Portland State game.
Simply based off
Mhm.
of that. That's what I say. Numbers definitely can lie and oftentimes are used with the intent of lying. But the more context you get, when you start to uncover more and more context that makes your argument more compelling, you start to realize this isn't a stat sheet. This is a dude,
Yeah.
right? Example. What do I mean by that? Let's look at Jayden Daniels versus top 50 defenses, right?
I
And this
love
is from
that one.
Jason Tarver. I found on Twitter. I wanted to give him a shout out because he's not someone I would usually quote. I don't mean any disrespect. I haven't followed his content or anything, but this was certainly worth checking him out for sure. Um, here's your top 3 Heisman candidates, right? The same guys you tweeted out their numbers of, right? Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Jayden Daniels against top 50 defenses. Bo Nix has played 1 game, 248 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 8 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Okay, you did okay. One game. Michael Penix, 4 games, 1,263 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ew. And negative 25 yards rushing. So, in those big games, Michael Penix Jr. he's been pedestrian. Not
Mhm.
bad. Like you take that, but it's still not great. Jayden Daniels has played 5 games against top 50 defenses. 1,469 yard passings, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 486 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns.
It's just video game numbers on a
I've
routine
never played a
basis.
video game that well. I don't know about you.
Turn the sliders down and put it on rookie mode just to do what he's doing on a weekly basis. But continue.
Is that a hobby I hear you talking about? Are you a Madden player?
NCAA. I'm waiting for the new one to come out soon.
No, dog. You play
Turn on the old
so you don't even
Xbox.
play. All right, so you've been waiting 10 years for this hobby to pop back up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was really disappointed when the game. Maybe we should do a live stream when the game comes out of
Of
us
me
like
waxing you in NCAA.
you haven't played in 10 years.
I got the old one. I've been playing. I've been staying warm.
I
I
will say this
promise.
about once per year I pull out my Xbox 360 and they have like these super crazy guys who update the rosters once a
It's
year.
awesome.
And I just play a game with the modern LSU roster. Let's get to some more. Oh, this is always a stat I found interesting, and this is a stat line that one of the reasons why I just got so compelled by what Burrow had done in his year. Um, was because we all were talking about the quality. It's 7 top 10 teams, all that good stuff. This was the kind of numbers that compelled me is his deep passing. Cause I remember thinking, who was it? Colin Cowherd was talking about what he threw a few bubble screens and, but got some big, no, Burrow was slinging it, dude. We're talking big time passes. This is from Will Rosen. Jayden Daniels' adjusted completion rate on 20-plus yard passes. This is passes that travel 20 yards in the air. And this is like if it was dropped or whatever, the receiver ran a bad route, or they adjust it for that. Okay. 71.4% complete, which is that's like higher than his normal completion percentage. And these are really tough passes to make. And he says this is the best mark that anybody has posted in the last 10 years. No one has even crossed the 70% mark. You see what I'm saying? How like the deeper you dig, the more impressive it gets. How about this one? Dane Brugler. Most plays of 20 plus yards in 2023. Did you see this one?
I don't think so.
All right.
Wait, actually, continue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think you did, because if you saw this, it's pretty funny the way he listed.
I think that might have been the one that I was just kind of like, holy,
Yeah.
wow. I'm not
All
gonna
right.
say
So
what
Jayden Daniels has 76.
Yeah, that's the one.
76 plays of 20 or more yards.
I wish you could pull that up because the way he structured that was fantastic.
I can.
You should. That might have been one of my favorite stats that I saw today.
Let me see here.
Because I don't even think Bo Nix was on that.
I always get nervous about pulling up Twitter like this.
Yeah,
because
that's why I said
you could get some pretty 76, and then he goes through every other.
I love that.
At 57 is Michael Penix, which is very good, by the way. This is not a trash on Michael Penix Jr. show. I think in a lot of years he deserves and will win the Heisman. And by the way, Caleb Williams, other than, some bad moments, like he was atrocious against Notre Dame, he's been a beast too. I still think he's your number one pick in the draft. That's absurd. That's 19 plays more than second place for 20-yard plays. You talking about an explosive athlete, man. You can't fake 20+ yard plays. You can't just bubble screen your way into these kind of numbers. You can't system quarterback your way into these numbers. Well, maybe Jayden Daniels did it against some crappy teams. Maybe it's that he really, the SEC's down this year. All right.
But then you pull up the stats of what you said a second ago against the top 50 defenses, and it's like, no, like you can't even go down that path because what you just said a couple minutes ago completely puts that out of the equation.
How about I do you one better? Let's pull up the strength of schedule of your top leading Heisman candidates, Beautiful. Right? Bo Nix, Oregon, and this is Russ Mitchell, guy who does SEC podcasts. He's on with Moscona a bunch, who was the Zack's replacement last week. Anyways, Oregon, 53rd. People were talking about how strong and how good the Pac-12 is this year. And it's definitely true. The Pac-12 is pretty stacked this year, but it's not like these teams are just playing an absolute juggernaut schedule still. Washington with Michael Penix Jr., 43rd. Talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think is, he's mostly up there because of his name, if we're being honest. Son of Indianapolis Colt Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison. And he's a good receiver. He's going to be a top 16 draft pick. I'm not hating on him, but the numbers,
unbelievable.
The numbers aren't up there. I will say this: a lot of people said Malik Neighbors should be higher on the Heisman list than him based on numbers alone. I will actually give Marvin Harrison a nod over Neighbors, not because I'm hating on Neighbors. Neighbors is a beast. That's my guy, right? But look who's throwing to him. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is still putting up beastly numbers. I'll take Jayden Daniels over what's the guy's name? Chris. Anyways, he's not that great. Michigan with JJ McCarthy, who, by the way, JJ McCarthy had 60 yards passing against Penn State, right?
It ran the ball like 30 plus straight
32 times to end the game. JJ McCarthy had 60 yards passing. Jayden Daniels had 606 yards. Jayden Daniels had 10 times the total yards that he had passing. 10 times. That's unbelievable. And then Florida State with Jordan Travis, of course, has the 55th ranked offense, right? I'm sorry, 55th strength of schedule. What's LSU? 4. LSU has the 4th toughest schedule in the country. So, that whole argument of, well, he lost games, right? So, well, it's because he played a really tough schedule. I mean, he's lost to 3 teams who are in the top 13. Ole Miss was top 10 last week. Top 13 teams on the road. Oh, and by the way, he went to a top 11 team on the road and hung 49 on them. Missouri.
People are saying that win's not impressive or whatever. I kind of say, like, screw off, because I think Missouri is a super talented team. Like, I think that's still an impressive win.
They are. Oh yeah,
especially to go on the road and you get it done out there. Like that's one where I'm like, okay, like that's still
Missouri is
impressive win on the
properly
road.
rated.
Absolutely.
They're properly rated, and I think the thing about LSU this year is LSU is a team knocking on the door of being a top 10 team. I do not think LSU is a top 10 team, and they played a bunch of teams who are. What it comes down to. What it comes down now, this ain't no top 10 defense.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't no top 10 defense.
We talk about it every damn week. If
Well,
only
I'm tired of talking about it. That's why I
hurts.
decided we're going straight Heisman, man.
Straight
We're
JD talk.
going Heisman talk heavy and early, and basically until the Heisman Trophy ceremony on December 6th, I'm going to be talking about it because that's the biggest thing left for LSU's football team this year. This is from College Football Nerds. This is another interesting stat. Again, I love the context of these things. Jayden Daniels' worst game in terms of yards per attempt was Alabama. A game, by the way, he was phenomenal in. He had 384 yards before getting knocked out
in 3 quarters. Yeah, exactly. Before he got
in 3 quarters, right? 9.1. That's his worst game, and his average throw is a first down. His worst.
He really shut us up, man. You and I were talking about how he wasn't doing 10 plus yards, 50 plus, and it wasn't just us; it was everybody. Like the growth that he's made in his game is so substantial. But carry on.
His average depth of target last year, depth was 8.9 yards. That's not completions. That's not attempts. That's his depth of target. That has 0 yak on it. It's just very impressive. It's very because the depth of target should be a little higher because if you just throw it out there and it's not caught,
it still runs the numbers up.
It still registers the number. The yards per attempt only counts the ones that are caught. Your incompletions are heavily weighing you down. So that's pretty interesting to me. He's only had 2 other games below 10. The other was Florida State, where he had 9.4, right? And I think Florida State, a lot of people have argued that Jayden Daniels has been great in every single game. I think he was okay against Florida State. I actually do not want to sit here and argue that he was incredible because he was okay against Florida State. One great. The average of his 2 worst games is the same as Bo Nix's all season long, who's your current Heisman frontrunner at 9.3. The average is worse than is his worst 2 are better than this guy's average. He's also a 1,000-yard rusher, by the way, Jayden Daniels. Just casually. On top of all that, he's ran for 1,000 yards. It's a lot of reasons. I've been rolling them off here for a while, man. If anybody else has got any better reasons, let me know. Because I'll throw them up here. And of course, guys, tonight's gonna be heavy on reading prepared content type stuff, reacting to it, so to speak. So if you got something you want to say, throw us a super chat so we can get it on the screen. It's just one of those nights where can't quite get to everybody. If you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button. Because just like I said, the way you can use your voice, if you are not someone with a platform like myself, like Zack, like Scarborough, like LSU media people, if you're just some guy, you can hit like on this video and this voice of a message that you approve will get pushed out there to more people. That's how you can use your individual platform. We're going to talk a little bit about our sponsors and we're going to come right back. First of all, I got to talk about Drip IV and their amazing semaglutide products. So let's hear from them and I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, we're so excited to share the news that both our Lafayette and our Baton Rouge location are offering semaglutide for weight loss. If you or someone you know are interested in our medically assisted weight loss program with semaglutide, call Kylie in Lafayette or myself in Baton Rouge. We'd love to speak with you.
Guys, if you've been struggling to lose weight, maybe you've heard of these injections from a friend or family member, this is your sign to check it out. Drip IV offers medically assisted weight loss with semaglutide at both their Baton Rouge and Lafayette locations. Call them to book your consultation. They would love to speak with you. They'll also give you a perfect IV drip that fits your need. These IVs are also great for anybody feeling under the weather or in need of an energy boost. They are loaded with vitamin C and other great vitamins, amino acids, and electrolytes designed to get you back to feeling your best in a hurry. Whether it's a hangover, cold, preparing for vacation, they have what you need. Located next to Sushiyama and Iverston's in Perkins Crossing on the corner of Perkins and Essen, it's a super convenient spot. And as always, walk-ins are welcome. Please say TigerBait.com for $10 off your first IV drip. For appointments, you can book online or call the location closest to you. Call them at 225-256-3634. They're open 8 to 4, Mondays through Friday. And guys, we got to talk about our weekly specials at Celebrity Theater, guys. As affordable as a theater as this already is to go to compared to a lot of your corporate-owned theaters, this theater has tons of weekly specials, like their Monday Senior Savings Day for $5 off. $5 for all patrons over the age of 55. Tuesday is Bargain Tuesday, discounted movie tickets and concessions for all. Wednesday is college night. Admissions for college students after 5 p.m. is $5. And of course, the Baton Rouge location has off arcades all day. Thursday is Baton Rouge location only. They got their Thirsty Thursday where they do discounted bar items. All right, let's see if we got any comments. All right, next we're going to start talking about rebuttals. We're going to talk about, they got a lot of people throwing out throwing bricks, at Jayden Daniels' way.
People were coming at you all day.
Because I recognize that the Heisman Trophy is now in the perception of voters, I decided to clap back in ways I usually don't. I feel like it's unbecoming of a media professional to be constantly out there blasting people. I mean, maybe every once in a while, but it's not really our job to like talk smack and get involved. But I just thought it was important to respond with facts to this stuff. Todd Davis says Jayden carries this team MVP. What's LSU's record without Jayden Daniels?
Has he missed?
No. As in, if Jayden Daniels doesn't play on this team this year,
oh my goodness gracious,
how many games do they win?
I don't even want to go down that path. I don't even want to imagine, to be honest. Obviously, I'd love to believe in Nussmeier, think that he could step in and do some really good things, but
sure.
I couldn't even tell you.
Mettenberger was a stud. Let's say Nussmeier goes out there and is as good as Mettenberger.
That's an interesting. Okay.
That's what I'll base this off of. That team wins 5 games with this defense. I'm serious. I think if Jayden Daniels isn't here this year, LSU's 5-7. Because this defense ranks 108th in the country, as Todd Davis says right there, and LSU's ranked 108 in defense. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Bo Swindle rebuts my comment about having Marvin Harrison higher, and he puts out a good point. And by the way, Brian Thomas is Zach's guy. Like Zack has been big on what Brian Thomas has done this year. In fairness, Neighbors is splitting catches with Brian Thomas Jr. And that's a good point, actually.
I am such a big fan of Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah,
man.
He's been really good. He reminds me a lot of like what Terrace Marshall Jr. was doing in that 2019 offense. Just the big-bodied guy, touchdown machine. He'll have an interesting decision to make. I'm thinking he might be going to the league.
I think he made himself a lot of money this year, and that's a casual take. He made himself a lot of money this year. Big Cojones Kelly says Bryce Underwood to LSU. Yeah, I mean before Jayden Daniels got to the front runner of the Heisman conversation, I definitely was big on that. Y'all know I've been talking about Bryce Underwood for 2 weeks now. JD5, Denbrock, and Sloan have earned a boatload of praise. Yeah, they have. Yes, they have. There's no doubt about that. Great job from those guys. EA Sports college football still on track for summer 2024 despite recent lawsuit. Well, they just can't keep delaying it. Eventually they gotta put something together there, right? I mean, Preston is carrying the dog on X. I refuse to call it X. Have you called it X? I've never called it X, and I will not.
It's Twitter, man. That was the dumbest rebrand ever. It's freaking Twitter. Let's oh man. Okay, let's get to some common arguments again. Of course, the one common argument you're going to hear against Jayden Daniels for Heisman is, well, he lost 3 games. He's not a contender. All right. Well, for number one, he lost to 3 top 10 teams on the road. Okay. He was spectacular in all those games, except for Florida State, where he was still pretty good. But it's not like he went out there and laid an egg. His defense gave up 45, 55, and 42 points. And by the way, the 42.1 probably would have been winnable at 42 points had he not gotten hurt. His last 2 plays were a freak interception where it got batted down and intercepted, and that probably was the nail with the way the defense was playing. And then, to open up the fourth quarter, he just gets knocked out of the game by Dallas Turner on a dirty hit. He had 384 yards at that point. So, it's not his fault. That's number one. I posted about the total yardage, and someone said, so we're just going to ignore who everybody's playing against then? Hello, LSU has the 4th rated strength of schedule.
Yeah.
4th, right?
And then you pull up again the top 50 defense numbers too. So that argument, that rebuttal is so honestly irrelevant at this point.
Okay, let's talk about that then. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna jump out of order here. Okay, someone else says LSU hasn't beaten a top 30 defense, right? LSU hasn't beaten a top 30 defense. Notice how that's phrase. Okay, I got a few points to rebut on this. Number one, Alabama is a top 30 defense. They're number 22 in the country, right? And they were top 15 before LSU rolled to town. And although Jayden didn't secure the win, he put up 382 yards in 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And those who watched him play, he was spectacular. He was hitting dimes and running around. I mean, he was incredible against Alabama. He just freaky stuff happened on those last 2 plays, man. So yes, he didn't win per se, but he definitely played well. Number 2, defenses tend to be ranked a lot lower after playing LSU. You think maybe one of the reasons why these defenses don't rank in the top 30 is because they got a 500 burger to deal with on there?
That's a fair point, to be honest. I wasn't even going to go down that path.
I did. Okay. Guess how many? Okay. Of course I did. Right. I'm telling you, I'm bodying people today. Okay. I am going there. Okay. I am sick of the stupid straw man garbage arguments that people are going to throw out there.
You put it all on the line today. Like if nobody got to look at it, Preston was on people's, I can't say that, behind.
You say it. Go ahead. Say it.
He was on that ass today. Like Preston was, he was on there today. And I don't clap back very often, but I had to put a little something out there just to get my point across. But Preston was on that ass. Like it was.
I got it. Okay. Because
it was impressive.
Because it's important. These perception battles are important. If LSU, Jayden Daniels deserves the Heisman Trophy, and it is the job of people who believe in that, not even just LSU. If you believe that is the right thing, then you have to, you have to win the mental battle for that. Okay. If you take out the LSU offense, the 500, the 600, and sometimes 700 yards that LSU hangs on everybody, LSU and Auburn and Missouri both have top 30 defenses, actually. If you and this isn't just like me removing the 500 yards and saying, well, look, their yards. No, this is like they have 10 games, you take out the 500 and then you divide by 9. It's if they had never played LSU, LSU did beat 2 formerly top 30 defenses. They just weren't top 30 anymore. It's like, remember when 2019 LSU kept on getting all those top 10 wins and then they weren't ranked in the top 10 after you beat them? It's because, yeah, so you play a top 10 team and then they're not top 10 anymore after you beat them. Go figure. Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Oh man, big cojones, Kelly. Preston was like a dog on a mailman today. Edward O got the crabs. Best shoe in the boot. I'm destroy the like button. Do it. And share the show out to all your friends and family, all that good stuff on social media, guys. I mean, do all that good stuff for me here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here's another interesting argument that is really these arguments people are going to make. You're going to find that this is going to happen more and more and more over the next 2-3 weeks, where there's less ammunition, so people start grasping at straws where there are no straws to be grasped. Okay. Someone brought up that Jayden Daniels, because his defense is so crappy, had to play so late in all of these football games, right? And thus got to pad his stats by being out there later than everybody. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this on the screen here. Okay, I'm gonna do that thing I did earlier here. Share screen.
Shrink me.
Shrink you. I'm good at that. Let's see here. All right, be small. There we go. All right. No, it's so small. It's hard to see here. I don't know if you can even see it. All right. In the middle of the screen, there's a chart of the total yardage leaders in college football. At the top is Jayden Daniels, where he belongs, rightfully so. Well, this argument of that stats lie and that Penix got pulled out at halftime of so many of these games, guys, number one, he leads college football in yards per play, right? Per play. That's pretty irrefutable. They track on this chart, NCAA.com, by the way. They have how many plays they've played. Jayden Daniels has played 387 plays. And he has one more play than Michael Penix. My response to that, man, that must have been a hell of a play to account for 550 yards. It's not, no, the case that Jayden Daniels is out there running up the score, padding stats, that's not necessarily true. Look, there's 7 guys on this list who have played more plays than him. 7. Look at Drake May with 444 plays. Dylan Gabriel, 407. Bo Nix is right there with him, 370. I mean, he's right next to Jayden Daniels and Michael Penix. They're within 20 plays of each other. It's not like, one of them is overtly way higher. Cam Ward at Washington State, 507. Byron Brown, 500. Look at Caleb Williams, 436. And then look all the way down there at Shadur Sanders. 526 yards. Now, there have been a lot of people who have accused Shadur Sanders. I'm not Shadur, but Dion of padding Shadur stats out there. Guys, like I said, the more you dig into these numbers, the more compelling it becomes that Jayden Daniels deserves this Heisman Trophy.
I also want to get out there that we're not being homers. I know people are gonna reply and like on social media like somebody was calling me a homer and like all these different things. And it's to be honest, I didn't go to LSU. I know I covered the
thing. He's a ULL guy.
The thing is just it's not. They said homerism actually was the term that they used, and I was like, okay, they're just calling us homers and saying this and saying that. It's no, the numbers speak for themselves. The statistics speak for themselves, and just what he does on a routine basis, even just every play, 20 plus yards, everything he does, it speaks for itself. So no, it's not even being a homer. It's just giving a player what he's deserving of, despite what the record may say. So look, Preston and I we're on the exact same page here. So the numbers tell the story here, and everything he's brought up has been spot on.
So you're on the LSU beat, right? You cover all the sports on LSU's campus, right?
Every damn thing, man. You
name everything, all over there, right? Okay. I'm only a football reporter. That's one of the reasons we brought him in here, by the way, guys, is to kind of round this off.
Army knife.
Right. I'm very specified into one thing. I like to do something and do it very well. I love basketball as a fan. I love baseball as a fan, and I love watching, particularly the big sports. It's just football is kind of my forte. Zack, did you like grow up like an all sports fan viewer, or was there like a particular team? Like, you're from New Orleans? Were you bigger Saints guy than LSU?
I played every sport growing up, so like I never had like a one that kind of like stood out to me. But I'd say I was probably a bigger Saints fan than anything.
Yeah. Pels fan
Specifically. Oh, I'm a pretty big Pels fan, but I'd probably say like Saints, LSU, Pels was probably how I went.
So have you always been kind of just all around sports, or?
Absolutely. My dad always made sure that I was playing everything, doing that I could, and just staying in the loop.
Yeah. See, I played football, and that was all I could play, really. So I just really went heavy in the knowledge.
I tried to do the football thing. My dad was a really good football player in high school.
Yeah.
I tried to get on the football wave, but basketball was kind of my forte, like growing up. But
really,
yeah, no, big Saints and LSU guy over here.
So if the Pelicans get a beat writer opening, you're gone.
I wouldn't say that. Wouldn't say that.
I'm throwing like your career security up in the air
right?
for thousands of people to watch. Mm-hmm. Anyways, all right, Bearded Dragon. Do you think LSU would have beaten Bama if they took Daniels out? I do. Okay, Bearded. First off, great question. Thank you for asking. I think it's the first comment I've ever seen of you on the show, so I appreciate you for coming out and giving us a try. LSU was in a tough pinch. I mean, really tough pinch before that. If we're just being honest, this is us not being the homer, by the way. Could LSU have scored the 14 it needed? Sure, could. I have absolute faith in that. I mean, you got 13 minutes to go. I mean, he might even score 21. It's them not scoring was the issue, and LSU's defense was paper mache.
Well said.
Am I right about that? I don't think they win that if Jayden Daniels doesn't get hurt. I've been very blunt about the targeting no call and stuff, and telling people it had zero impact. Both the injury and the targeting call had zero impact on the outcome. Alabama was the better team. Alabama won. You just need to shut up and swallow that pill. Am I right?
No, I'm on the same page. At first I thought you were kind of saying that LSU could have won that game if JD was healthy. You could have had JD play all 4 quarters, and the chips just weren't falling their way on that Saturday night. I think Alabama just outmatched every aspect of the game. So no, I don't think LSU would have come away and won that game. Bama was the better team that night for sure.
And he follows that up with sad this prolific offense was wasted on a year where the defense sucks.
Stay away from it. We've stayed away from the defense all night. We might as well.
I know. I'll say this though.
We do agree though.
We've been talking about that 2013 team. Probably we've talked about it for at least 6 or 7 years. Maybe after the 2019 championship, people slowed down talking. We still talk about it. Okay. Where you look at it and you see Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and Zach Mettenberger and Jeremy Hill, and people will ask, especially when national people are asking this, how the hell did LSU not win a national championship? And then you talk about that defense. This is worse. This is so much worse. Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors are about to have super long NFL careers. Okay. Logan Diggs is gonna crack some lineups, man. He's going to turn some heads, okay, in the NFL.
He's a gamer.
I think Caleb Jackson's got a good NFL career ahead of him. I think Jayden Daniels is going to be a starting quarterback at some point, right? I don't see any way he makes it out of the second round. We'll see. I mean, maybe he deserves to be higher. I'm not at that point yet. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this for decades, guys. Remember when LSU had the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and offense that just scored 57 something points a game, and they got beat 3 times? You're going to be talking about that for a long time. It's going to be very upsetting. All right, we're going to get to a couple other bits of news. Like, all right, we're going to transition for the Heisman talk and get to a couple pieces of news. If you want to get your comment in on anything else other than the Jayden Daniels Heisman situation, go ahead and get it in. But first, we're going to hear about Alumni Hall. Hey, Tiger fans, when you want to show your LSU Tiger pride, Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Columbia, champion Peter Millard, Southern Tide hats, Yeti gifts, and accessories. LSU students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store every day. You can earn cash back with their Hall Pass Rewards program. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Road, or anytime online at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Tiger fans shop. And of course, we got to thank our title sponsor who offers private events, whether it's your birthday party or whatever. They've got 8 to 10 opportunities. If you're looking to host a birthday party, private movie screening, corporate meeting, or arcade party, we've got you covered. Celebrity Theaters is proud to offer birthday packages for children of all ages. Let us handle everything from movies to entertainment to setup to cleanup. For more information or to book your party online, visit www.celebritytheaters.com/events or give them an email at events@celebritytheaters.com. Okay. Here's one item. We'll touch on this briefly. You're probably not going to give it the conversation it deserves. Clean house. Zach, what you think about that?
Defensively?
Well, I think the pun is clean house with Matt House.
I know,
right?
But I'm thinking deeper. I'm thinking just all of it as a whole. Look, that's such a difficult situation because you can look at the team and how they were last year. And then just obviously they dropped the ball this year. It's a unique situation. I think that's a fun little play on words.
Yeah.
Look, I think you're going to see a lot of defensive changes on that staff this offseason. Surely, Preston, I feel like you agree as well. We've kind of hit on this a couple different times.
You gotta change something.
Some things are going to change. I'm intrigued to see what happens with the secondary coaches. It's just recruiting's in a difficult spot right now. On-play performance is in a difficult spot right now. I'd like to see what they do there. I don't know if moves are made there, but clean house, we'll see.
I've got some concerns with the recruiting of defensive players. There's been a bunch of guys in Louisiana. I feel like you could have gotten in. You probably need to get some coaches in who can recruit a little bit better. Not saying it's terrible. It's just good when it should be great. So I think you got to change that. Now you just got to change something, man. And I don't know that bringing back a healthy Jimmy Lindsey is quite the shakeup that this. I mean, you rank 108th in the country. This is one of the worst defenses in school history. Yes, the players are not. You're not dealing with the talent you should be, but I believe that when you're this bad, it's multifaceted. It's never a singular issue. The other interesting angle here is, this season, there's going to be some defensive coaching talent available.
I don't think you look at any defensive coach on this team and say they're safe. I think everybody's kind of, not necessarily on the fence, but everybody's going to be getting a first, second, third look.
Everybody's job is on the line right now. Yeah.
Speaking on Jimmy Lindsey, I think it was fantastic to get him back on the field and then get him up on the booth for the game. Obviously, prayers out to him. He's been going through a lot. So to get him back in a part-time capacity is fantastic. But look, some things are going to happen with this defensive staff. We've talked about it before, and it's just a matter of who's gone and when type of thing. But change is coming.
Definitely something's got to change. And I think about Dave Aranda, who's probably going to get fired. Talk about Zach Arnett. He's a good defensive coordinator.
I thought that's the route that you were going to take earlier when you brought up his name. So I'm glad you're bringing it up now. That's a unique situation.
It's a little too early to do anything more than just kind of nonchalantly speculate about it.
All speculation, by the way, before anything. This is all speculation on both of our parts.
I didn't want to go too deep, but I'm just going to, just mention it. And those aren't the only defensive minds that are going to lose their job and be on the lookout. Quality defensive minds that are going to be out there. I saw quite a bit of tweets. I actually saw people talking about the USC opening and all the great defensive minds out there because they fired Alex Grinch. Just throwing that out there. Maybe that's part of the equation, is just knowing what's available out there. In my opinion, I think Matt House is a good coordinator when he has good players. And I think he's bad when he doesn't have the players to run what he wants to run.
Right.
I think that's fairly obvious in the last couple of years. Anyways, let's see here. Lamar Jackson did not light it up, everyone, including talking about the Heisman year Lamar Jackson had. Mm-hmm. Of course, Lamar Jackson probably didn't have as strong a campaign. I mean, he lost 3 times and he looked like junk against LSU. The total lack of top tier talent on this defense in the backfield is a huge factor. Yeah. I think about guys like Jacoby Matthews at Texas A&M who should be a part of this defense. I think about, quite a few guys. Now, most of the guys I think about probably wouldn't be playing yet. You'd be in the same position that you're in with JV and Taviano, where you got a talented player who just needs some time, and I think they need to recruit. Losing Kai Bates today, that hurts. That hurts. You got to go get some.
Especially so close to the early signing period too. It's like, man, you're gonna have to attack that portal again. You're gonna have to hit it with force.
Brian Kelly said today that he was going to be a little more selective.
Mm-hmm.
A little more selective. So we'll see about that. I think they probably are going to have to get some veteran DBs, but like good veteran DBs. Hopefully, right. I would almost rather throw the younger guys, throw the sophomores out there and let them learn.
Yeah,
okay.
You can rebuild through the portal every year.
Then continuing to go after FCS guys.
Mm-hmm.
That are one and done guys, because the one and done players are not how you build continuity on your roster. John Emery Jr. tore his ACL. That is, and it looked like a torn ACL. I remember looking at it on the field. I was like, yeah, he's probably done for. Dude cannot catch a break. Do you think that hurts LSU in the offense?
To lose somebody of John, I mean, look, that running back room is so damn deep. It's tough. I mean, I was looking at his stats. What was it? It's like 23 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Like, it's limited production, but obviously, a veteran in the locker room, like, there's some different aspects, different avenues that you can look at. But no, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, like, this is a significant loss. I'm praying for John Emery. I think he's a fantastic player, fantastic person. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a couple times, but you have 8 scholarship running backs, and a lot of them are capable of stepping in and
very deep. And by the way, Josh Williams was a beast blocking. I do not like the use of him on the goal line. Thought that was really dumb, especially when you have Caleb Jackson, who's like a bulldozer, and then you got the 5'9" walk-on. So you went with the 5'9" walk-on on the goal line, not the kid who squats a Mack truck. Okay, come on. But no, Josh Williams in blocking is outstanding. I love him when he's used to his strengths.
That one block on the goal line was insane.
Last comment of the night. We're going to wrap this up. This is from LA Chris. If you put Jayden Daniels on the 2019, do we still win the Natty? I think we're deadlier. Okay. I'm going to answer the question bluntly and say yes. Yes, I think they win. Then I think it's tighter. Okay. Because there were a lot of positions, but that LSU team really wasn't really close to losing any games. Everybody looks, oh, well, they only beat Alabama by 6. Homie, they were up by 2 scores. And they kicked an onside kick and didn't get it. Like, they weren't really 6 points away from winning. LSU got the ball back and kneeled it out. Mm-hmm. They weren't stopping Joe Burrow, okay? He was going to go out there and do whatever. That happened a few times. Yes, Jayden Daniels could probably still win the national championship with that team, but understand the way Joe Burrow facilitated better than anybody in the history of college football. There's still a substantial gap in between how good Jayden Daniels is as a player and Joe Burrow. There's a substantial gap. Joe Burrow, I believe, is the best player in college football history by a wide margin. And I've put out a lot of stuff on that over the years. The way he threw the ball and the records he broke against the teams he did, and the fact that he played 7 top 10 teams and no team had the ball with a chance to take the lead in the fourth quarter that year. Unbelievable. What's your thoughts on the whole J19 offense and comparing him to Burrow? Because people are starting to compare him to Joe Burrow. Some people say he's better, but
I think the comparison is fantastic. Like, I'm comparing both of them is challenging just because Jayden is so much more dynamic, and Joe Burrow was a professional football player playing in college at the time. Right. He was a step ahead of everybody, just checking plays, doing whatever he needed to do. He was a professional quarterback playing college football. But the growth that they both made from year 1 to year 2, significant. Jayden Daniels is on a whole nother level. Joe Burrow is on a whole nother level. But if you put Jayden Daniels on the 2019 team, I mean, look, I think they go out and they win the Natty at ease. I don't know if they're deadlier per se, because Joe Burrow, in my opinion, had the single greatest season in college football history. That was the single greatest year that I've ever seen from anybody in college football. But I think if you put Jayden Daniels on that team, they certainly win the Natty for sure.
And I get the argument about Jayden Daniels being a better runner. Obviously, he can make plays happen on his leg. Joe Burrow was a better improviser.
I think that's a good word. I think improvising is really well said, especially that what was it against Oklahoma or whatever we rolled out.
Yeah,
that just unreal stuff. So.
Joe Burrow is the best of all time at being a pocket wizard and finding his way out there and making a play with his arm. All I'm going to say is get on the Jayden Daniels hype train. Let's not get carried away, because when you get carried away and try to make things more than they actually are, people stop taking you seriously. That's the sad reality of the situation. Yes, he's the best player in the country. Yes, he deserves the Heisman Trophy. Yes, he'd probably win Heisman in a lot of years based on what he's done this year. But let's not compare him to the absolute GOAT of GOATs. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on now. All right, guys, thank y'all for watching. If y'all enjoyed the show tonight, remember, hit that like button. Help our algorithms. Share the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, guys, because we're a fast-growing channel. We're up to 24,000 subscribers, and I appreciate all y'all for making that happen. So do that. Hit that bell for all of our live videos to get notified when we get live, and you'll get our good content. Make sure to go follow Zack on Twitter at ZNaggy20. Make sure to go follow me on Twitter at PGuy_77. We'll see y'all next week.